Is cryptography supported in Node.js? Yes, Node.js does support cryptography through a module called crypto. This module provides various cryptographic functionalities like cipher, decipher, sign and verify functions, a set of wrappers for open SSLs, hash, MAC, etc. For example, const crypto is equal to a require function in that crypto. Const secret is equal to accurate. Const hash is equal to crypto dot create hmac function. In hmac function, create hmac function, swide secret comma secret dot update welcome to edureka dot digest function in that hex console dot log hash. 22nd question. Explain the reason as to why Express app and server folder must be kept separate. Express app and server must be kept separate, as by doing this you will be separating the API declaration from the network related configuration, which benefits in the below listed ways. It allows testing the API in process without having to perform the network calls. Faster testing execution. Getting wider coverage metrics of the code allows deploying the same API under flexible and different network conditions. Better separation of concerns and cleaner code. What is the role of asset module in Node.js? The asset asset module provides a set of assertion functions for verifying invariant. What is the role of async hooks module in Node.js? The async hook module provides an API to track asynchronous resources. It can be accessed using const async hooks is equal to require async hooks. What are buffer objects in Node.js? In Node.js, buffer objects are used to represent binary data in the form of a sequence of bytes. Many Node.js APIs, for example, streams and file system operations, support buffers as interactions with the operating system or other process generally always happen in terms of binary data. What are the different ways to of implementing add-ons in Node.js? There are three options for implementing add-ons: NAPI, NAN direct use of internal V8, libuv, Node.js libraries. How can we spawn the child process asynchronously without blocking the Node.js event loop? Child process.spawn method spawns the child process asynchronously without blocking the node.js event loop. The child process spawn.sync method or a function provides equivalent functionality in a synchronous manner that blocks the event loop until the spawned process either exits or it terminates. How can we take advantage of multi-core system in Node.js, as Node.js works on a single thread? We can use Node.js cluster to use multi-cores in a hardware. The cluster module allows easy creation of child processes that all share server ports. For example, constant cluster is equal to require cluster. Const http is equal to require http. Const num cpus is equal to require os dot cpus function dot length. If cluster dot is master, console dot log master process dot pid is running. Fork workers for let I is equal to 0, I is less than num cpu I plus plus cluster dot fork method. Cluster dot on exit worker code signal console dot log worker dollar worker dot process dot pid died. Else http dot create server, in that one callback function require request comma respond response dot write head 200 response dot end hello world. Listen to the port 8000 console.log worker dollar process.pid started. Output will be master 3596 is running, worker 4324 started, worker 4520 started, worker 6056 started, workers 5644 started. What is the data type of console? The data type of console is an object. Which are the different console methods available? There are around 21 inbuilt console methods. We can also build our own prototypes using new console constructor function. Here are few popular ones. Console.clear method will clear all output in the concurrent terminal viewport for the Node.js binary. Console.error data arguments prints to std error with new line. Multiple arguments can be passed with the first used as a primary message and all additional used as substitution. Console.table tabular data square bracket comma properties, a table with the columns of the properties of tabular data or use properties are and rows of tabular data and log it. Can Node.js perform cryptographic functions? Yes, the crypto module provides cryptographic functionality that includes a set of wrappers for open SSL hash, HMAC, cipher, decipher, sign and verify functions. User use require crypto to access this module. How can we read or write a files into Node.js? The FS module provides an API for interacting with the file system in a manner closely modeled around standard POSIX functions. To use this module, const fs is equal to require fs. There are a few methods like fs.read file comma data comma callback, fs.write file comma data comma callback. Which are the global objects in Node.js? Dir name, directory name, file name, clear immediate function, clear interval, clear timeout, console, exports, global, module, process, queue, microtask, require, set immediate, set interval, set timeout, text decor, text encoder, URL search params, WebAssembly. How can we perform asynchronous network API in Node.js? The net module provides an asynchronous network API for creating a stream-based TCP or IPAC servers, net.createServer method and clients net.create connection. It can be accessed using const net is equal to require net. What are the utilities of OS module in Node.js? The OS module provides operating system related utility methods and properties. It can be accessed using const OS require OS. Which are the areas where it is suitable to use Node.js? Input output bound applications, data streaming application, data intensive real time application, JSON API based application, single page application. Which are the areas where it is not suitable to use Node.js? It is not suitable for heavy applications involving more CPU usage. What are the key features of Node.js? Asynchronous event driven input output helps concurrent request handling. All APIs of Node.js are asynchronous. This feature means that if a node receives a request for some input output operation, it will execute that operation in the background and continue with the processing of other requests. Thus, it will not wait for the response from the previous request. Past in code execution. Node.js uses the V8 JavaScript runtime engine, the one which is used by Google Chrome. Node has a wrapper over the JavaScript engine, which makes the runtime engine much faster, and hence processing of requests within a Node.js also become faster, single threaded but highly scalable. Node.js uses a single thread model for event handling. The response from these events may or may not reach the server immediately. However, this does not block other operations, thus making Node.js highly scalable. Traditional servers create limited threads to handle requests, while Node.js creates a single thread and provides a service to much larger number of such requests. Node.js library uses JavaScript. This is another important aspect of Node.js. From the developer's point of view, the majority of developers are already well versed with JavaScript. Hence, development in Node.js becomes easier for developer who knows JavaScript. There is an active and vibrant communication for the Node.js framework. The active community always keeps the framework updated with the latest trends in the web development. No buffering. Node.js applications never buffer any data. They simply output the data in chunks. Explain REPL in Node.js. The REPL stands for read, eval, print loop. It is a simple program that accepts the commands, evaluates them, and finally prints the result. REPL provides an environment similar to that of Unix, Linux, shell, or a window console in which we can enter the command and the system in turn responds with the output. REPL performs the following tasks. Read. It reads the input from the user, passes it into JavaScript data structure, and then stores into the in the memory. Eval. It executes the data structure. Print. It prints the result obtained after evaluating the command. Loop. It loops the above command until the user presses Ctrl C two times. Can you write CRUD operations in Node.js without using framework? Yes, can. We can use input HTTP library for that. Here is a simple code for the same. For example, where HTTP is equal to require HTTP, we are importing HTTP module. HTTP dot create server method. Create server method takes a callback function as the input. Function require response dot write head. Write head method will take two inputs. One is 200 comma content type is text or HTML, and if URL is equal to slash about response dot write about a space or and response dot end. Else, if URL is equal to slash contact response dot write contact us space and response end. Else, response dot write hello world response dot end and the response. And listen to the port 3000, and it will take another function like console.log server starts at the port 3000.